Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
Purdue Boilermakers, who suffered their third loss of the year today, and they did it to an interim coach in an Ohio State team that we knew was talented, but they really hadn't done anything for a long time. It cost Chris Holtman his job. How worried are you about Purdue, RC? Because Zach Edey did his thing, probably a few more turnovers than Matt Painter would like. Braden Smith did his thing, but nobody else really did their thing for the Boilermakers. And Fletcher Loyer has really, really been struggling lately. But what's wrong with this team? And are you concerned? Like, where's your concern meter at with this group right now?
Not at all. It's the third loss of the year. We can't sit here and act like the sky's falling. I mean, they lost a game on the road. With an interim coach, I would imagine if you held them up to the light, I bet you they'd be honest and say they took them for granted. And we all know you can't do that on the road. And they tried to turn it on late and get back in it, and they couldn't win it. But it's a conference game. Say what you want. The guys played well. I'm not panicking. I'm not overreacting to it. I thought a team like that should have came out and put them away early. They didn't, and they got what they deserved. They came out flat. I thought they were a little sloppy in their offense too. I didn't think they kind of moved quickly, cut quickly. There wasn't a pop to them, and they paid for it. So I'm not going to overreact to them over the third loss of the year. Let's cut that out. I'm not doing that.
Doug,
I'm somewhere in between the panic and where Randolph is. Right. I'm not.
Doug,
I'm not panicking.
You don't love Purdue. Let's face it. You don't love them. You like him a lot, but you never really had him with. And we'll talk about this in a minute. Alongside UConn.
No. I think UConn, their sneakers squeak a little different than everybody else's. That's how it feels, and their A is I think better than Purdue's A. There's also look, I know they both have big guys, but Klingon is so much more mobile defensively. It's a different game. It is, and it's not that at this level with this type of space, Edey's good defensively at the rim, but it's different. And look, that backcourt, I thought Braden Smith was good. Loyer was not offensively, but they also couldn't guard Bruce Thornton. So let's kind of call it like it is. Bruce Thornton and Jamison Battle had a heck of a day, and I thought they did some. This is kind of how Ohio State has tried to play. They just hadn't made as many shots. Now, I did their Indiana game on the radio, and they were right in that game, even though they shot the ball terribly. So, Roddy Gale still not shooting as well as kind of his reputation. But so it's a little bit about the defensive end. It's a little bit about matchups. But that, again, it's one of those, why don't we buy into Purdue? Because of the last 2 years in the postseason. Might be unfair, especially going back 2 years ago when it's a very different backcourt. But just last year, it was kind of one of these things. I will also add in, it was flat. Those Sunday games in the morning are just weird. They're just weird, especially in the Schottenstein Center. Those big, that Wisconsin's a little less dull than that place. And I thought that Ohio State came out with the juice. I thought that was a big difference. And, but does it have me panic? No. But I think so many people in college basketball are just sitting there going Purdue's good. What I love about them is how they all accept their roles. Their role assignment, role acceptance continues to be as good as anyone's. But there's a little bit of ceiling there in terms of talent where it doesn't feel like there's that same ceiling with the Huskies.
Yeah, I think they're a different team when Loyer plays and makes shots and is assertive, right? I mean, he's really struggled the last 3 games, and they got nothing off their bench today. And we said this, RC, from the beginning of the season in a way, what are they doing with that 4-man spot? Trey Kaufman-Rand obviously gets the bulk of the minutes. In certain matchups, I think that can work. But, again, against a team like Ohio State, if you don't take advantage of it offensively, it's going to hurt you on the defensive end. Do you feel like, again, they're susceptible, not because of what happened last year in the NCAA tournament so much. Let's say they get through that first round, which I all think, we all think they're going to do. But more, are they susceptible because you don't trust Loyer? I don't trust him because he's inconsistent, frankly. On his best day, he's awesome, and he brings energy and all of that. But right now, I feel like you could trust two guys, maybe 2.5. Lance Jones, you could trust in some instances, but again, he can get shot happy and take some really, really poor shots. But so where are you with kind of just go?
RC, tell me if you think this is fair. Like, again, what usually happens, like Purdue is the normal transformation of basketball players, right? As they come in, they get better and better based on what role. So the difference in a younger player and experienced player is the percentage of games in which is more positive than negative, gets greater and greater, right? And Lawyer's a little bit behind the curve as opposed to Braden Smith, right? Braden Smith has more quality games this year than Lawyer has. And in order for them to be really good, I think both of them have to be really good.
I'll say this. I think 2 of the 3 have to be really good. I think Lance Jones or Smith or Lawyer, any 2 of those 3, the combination with Zach Edey has to be good. And then I think Purdue's Purdue. And today, I thought Lance Jones, he struggled with his shots. He's 3 from 11 from the floor. He struggled making shots, and you can't have. No one else really did anything offensively. So, I thought they
got a little bored. RC, do you think they could get – I mean, they're going up against an interim coach, and give Jake Diebler a ton of credit for winning this game. And sometimes, you guys know, a coaching change happens, and you're running the same stuff. It's not like you're doing anything differently. It's just sometimes, again, it's like when a guy gets hurt, right? You play differently. You play a little looser. You play to prove something. Maybe you think you're playing for that interim coach, and you're going to get more opportunities or whatnot. But – is Purdue, they don't strike me as the type of team to take other teams lightly, but could they have done that on a day like today? Again, they're playing with fire lately too. Minnesota, they're playing in close. Northwestern a couple weeks ago, they almost lose. They need overtime. Just feels like it's a different team than we saw that was a buzzsaw in the non-conference.
And let's be honest too, they're getting their best shot. I mean, you're talking about an interim coach coming in there, crowds behind them. I mean, it's just like another shot in the arm for Ohio State. Get a chance to prove themselves. Guys go out there. You saw the emotion of the coach showing. It was a lot for him trying to win the game. I mean, again, same thing's going to happen with UConn coming here. UConn's not going to go 5-0 with their remaining schedule. So when you talk about we're not going to win, and it's not if. I'd be shocked if UConn goes 5-0. So when UConn loses their 3rd game, I'm not going to panic off that either. It's their 3rd game of the freaking year. These 2 teams have been the most dominant teams all year long. I do agree that UConn is selling. And I think some of that is because I think Purdue, we get bored with how Purdue plays. There's not a lot of guys. It's Zach Edey being completely dominant. And then it's the backcourt. And it's like, which one of those guards are going to play up? Which 4-man is going to show up and be in a rotation? It's not pretty. It's not sexy. But with UConn, you're getting everybody. You're getting it all. You're getting all the motion. It's just so many moving parts to it. So it's a little bit of a sexier toy, so to speak, to play with.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.